don't belong here. How the hell she get her own tear? In my heart, y'all put no fear. Fuck you, nigga, just to be clear. I'm tired of all of y'all fake misses, acting like you really fuck with me. See you skimming, really want my spot. You claim me bully, but I know you not. Okay, y'all. I gotta figure this button out. But what's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel. We're here with another reaction video. So we got 10 crazy mistakes in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Y'all, I love this show growing up. And I know, like, I kind of feel like by this time, maybe like 90% of the population don't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But let's just use a 90s baby. I'm a true 90s baby. So yes, I love Fresh Prince. And so I'm excited to see these bloopers they got on here. Like, I love trying to catch mistakes in shows sometimes, y'all. Like, I done been in a couple, like, nothing too like big as far as a show. But it's funny to see, like, when you're watching a movie and you say, wait a minute, this wasn't that color a scene ago, or this happened this scene ago. I love doing that. Like, not trying to, like, bash the producers, people who made it. It's fun to do. Fun little stuff inside the shows. Tubi is notorious for this. Like, Tubi bloopers be funny to me and to America, because I've been seeing on social media because you never, listen, you never know what you might see in a Tubi movie. So let's get this. I know old school would be funny because it's like they just keep them in, you know. Want to edit them out. Sometimes bloopers is funny in the actual scene. So let's get it popping, y'all.
Mistakes in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that you may have never noticed.
Okay.
And the first one is about Will Smith's inexperience as an actor. Because this show was his first time working with dialogue, instead of just memorizing his lines, he decided to memorize the entire script so he would know when it was his turn to speak. But the problem with his method was that in the early episodes of season 1, he would cope with his nervousness by mouthing his co-stars' lines too.
Oh, I saw it. Y'all see it? I'm going to run it back a little bit just in case y'all didn't see it, because I saw his lips move. I saw it.
The episodes of season 1, he would cope with his nervousness by mouthing his co-stars' lines too. And the worst examples of this can be seen in the episode Home Sweet Homeboy.
You don't go to school, Ice Train? Oh, sure I do. I've been held back in the 10th grade 3 times in a row.
3 times?
Yeah, see, my motto is, when I find a grade I like, I stick with it.
Oh, wow. Y'all, that is cool. Crazy. And just imagine, like, being nervous and you don't even know you're doing it. You don't realize it. Y'all, I know my first videos that I started putting up was cringy. I know they were because it's my first time, like, really getting into the camera. Y'all gotta understand, this is hard. To somebody who's not used to doing it, you know. I'm talking to a camera like I'm talking to y'all. But y'all don't understand this whole setup. There's really a camera here that I'm talking to, and I gotta wait for y'all to respond to me. Like, so I can understand the nervousness. Sometimes I'm saying like a lot, you know, looking around, fidgeting with my fingers, you know. I'm getting there, and I appreciate y'all rocking with me. But that is cool. Like, that's crazy to see. That's crazy to see. I think it's really cool to look back when, just whatever you do. And I don't mean just an artist or, you know, an entertainer, but anything you do is good to see. It's great to see you look back and like how you started and where you are now. Like, when I look back at my older videos and I look now, and it's just like, wow. I get secondhand embarrassment for myself, you know. But that is wild to see, and I probably wouldn't have paid attention, for real. Like I said, we was kids. Maybe the adults paid attention, but we didn't.
She was so ugly that Freddy Krueger used to have nightmares about her.
The next 4 mistakes...
That's some talent, though. To memorize the whole entire script. Because you don't want to, you know, I can relate to that type of overcompensating. I can relate to that, you know. At times it's like, because you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to just get your part right. You got to make sure what's around you is right, so you can get the feel of how you want to come in and say things. So you can get the feel of how you want to really execute what you're trying to do. So I can understand that. It is something that only gets better with time as you just get used to something. It's like whatever to anybody else's, because you got yours, you understand. And you don't need to do all that extraness.
Pilot episode. And in the first scene,
Oops, sorry.
Phil and Vivian are welcoming Will to their home. Will and Vivian sit down to relax on the couch, and if you watch this spot carefully, you'll see a boom mic drop down into the frame.
Oh.
The next scene
I
in Will's
saw it.
bedroom.
I would have noticed that just because of the movements, but it wouldn't have been a thing. I would have known what the heck that was anyway. I don't know what I would have thought it was, but I probably would have noticed the movement, but not, I don't know, it could have been a freaking spider for all I knew.
3 mistakes in it. And the first one is that you'll see the wall of the set shake twice as Will staples his Malcolm X poster to the wall.
Yep. And I remember just seeing that and not thinking anything other, but I did see the wall move the first time.
There's one.
Yep.
And there's 2.
Yep.
The next mistake is about the poster itself. At the beginning of the scene, you'll notice it's almost perfectly flat. But when Jeffrey enters the room and walks towards it, the bottom right corner is noticeably raised. Then, when Carlton enters the room and walks towards it, the poster's flat. But then the corner is raised once again when Will stands in front of the mirror. And the final flub in this scene is the composite shot when Will screams in front of the mirror, imagining himself to be dressed like Carlton. But if we back up and look at it again, you're going to see there's a clear line of separation between the 2 halves of the screen where the shots were composited. Because you'll notice the shot on the left side is slightly in motion, whereas the shot on the right is perfectly still. Now I'll play it back for you so you can see it for yourself.
Let's do it again. Oh, I saw it. But, you know, for what you have to do with the scene is like, what you gonna do? Like, do they have... That's what they did back then. Like, that's how you made that shot. So, I would have never noticed it if he wouldn't have pointed it out. I would have never noticed it. As far as that poster, I think it's like maybe the same shots. It's maybe they did that scene over and over and got the best parts out of doing that scene. And that's how they got the poster up and down like that. But that's what I mean by I enjoy watching movies and just finding little eggs like that. I love finding little eggs and stuff.
A plot hole can be spotted in the episode Did the Earth Move For You? When Viv and Phil are waiting in his office for the power to come back on after an earthquake. But what doesn't make sense about this is if you look out the window, you can still see lights on in all the buildings outside.
Okay.
The next few mistakes are about continuity errors.
Maybe they just didn't have power. You know, look, I don't consider that a blooper the way things is going. Okay? I done lived places where one side of town don't got power and one side do. So that's not far-fetched. That's not a bad one. I mean, unless they said it in the episode they were supposed to be like a citywide thing. But they could have had a generator. You don't know. Like, don't come for them. I don't think that was a bad blooper, y'all.
Props or costume pieces. In the mistaken identity, everyone is preparing for a visit to Palm Springs, and Will is wearing a pool floaty over his right shoulder.
Okay.
But then it magically changes to the left shoulder when he kisses Aunt Viv. Then it switches back to the right shoulder again as he sits down on the couch.
See, that comes from just doing that scene over and over. And then you just get the best picks. And then unfortunately, some things is not the same as it was before. You know, or shot the next day. So it's like, yeah, you remember to wear the same outfit, have your hair the same way, but you might not have that floaty on right. Your name tag might have been turned a certain way. Your ring you might have had the ring on opposite fingers. You know, I just like finding little stuff like that. But that's what I just concluded from how you get scenes like that.
Episode Hillary Gets a Life. Hillary has taken a job as a caterer, and she recruits Will and his friend Ty to be her servers, and has them put on aprons. But if you watch Ty's apron, you'll see it disappear as Hillary begins to cry, and then it reappears again as he walks forward to comfort her. In the episode The Alma Mater, Will meets with a recruiter from Princeton.
I always love when Will turned his jacket inside out. I loved it. I love Will being at the school and just showing the school, like, diversity. I feel like that school needed a little bit of seasoning before Will got there. And he got there, and he seasoned it, didn't he? He seasoned it. And I just liked his style. Like, we all knew. Like, we didn't realize how fresh Will was back then. Like now as an adult, like that boy was fresh. I don't know the numbers of the J's, so I just know he always had the J's that guys liked. So I know he always had the jerseys that guys liked or whatever. But I always loved when he wore this jacket because it was just, I don't know, it's different. You know, what was that, flowers? It could almost go for a couch. But I don't know, I liked it. I just like Will being different in that school. Maybe I relate because I felt like that when I transferred schools. Not that I added season or anything. It's just going from one culture and what you used to another. It was like, I'm gonna keep it all the way hot with y'all. Like up until my sophomore year in high school, I went to predominantly white schools. So I was different, you know. I was different. And it was crazy to me when I did step into a predominantly black school. I'm not going to lie. My favorite movie is Save the Last Dance. That scene when she walked into that school and seen all them black kids, that's how I felt. Like, yeah, I know I'm black, y'all. I know that. But it was just what I'd never seen that many black kids in my life in one school. It was crazy. Yes, I had black friends. Y'all, I'm just saying it was a little bit. But so I can relate with Will going from somewhere else to an environment, especially that type of culture where it's just everybody's privileged. I can relate. Maybe that's where I get it from, why I like that part so well, because I had to experience that twice in my life.
Beginning of the scene, he's wearing a backwards hat with a snapback. But as the scene plays out, his hat changes to become a strapback hat, then back to a snap when he leaves the office, then back to a strap again when he arrives back at the house. And then it changes back and forth 3 more times before the scene ends.
See, I would not have picked up on it.
In the episode
because I'm not a big hat person, like the snapbacks. Like, I like hats, but not to try to, like, decipher like that. Like, my fashion is just different. You know, long as it looks good. Long as it looks good and it's not like, you know, something that I can only wear one time is gonna like break down on me. I don't care. So I wouldn't even notice this whole hat thing because the whole snapback and what do you say, Velcro, dad hats, all type of. I wouldn't notice that the hat thing. That would have flew by me. He counted all the times in the scene. I wouldn't notice it.
House. Will wants to prove he can flambe a recipe. And you'll notice on the counter behind him is a fire extinguisher, which he will shortly need when he causes a huge fire on the stove. But the funny thing is that the next time we see the counter, the fire extinguisher is gone, just at the time when he needs it the most. Click a video on the screen.
Wait, because they ain't gonna try to play with my eyesight like that.
Which he will...
Nah, y'all. That is not a blooper. That fire extinguisher is still there. Y'all tell me if y'all see it. I see it. We're going to rewind it back because I see it. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Times before the scene ends. In the episode Burning Down the House, Will wants to prove he can flambe a recipe. And you'll notice on the counter...
Okay, so I see the fire extinguisher. We all see it. It's right here. It's red, big white and yellow and black label. We see it. It's next to this kind of glass bottle with this vinegar on it. So we definitely see it.
Behind him is a fire extinguisher, which he will shortly need when he causes a huge fire.
It's still there! Y'all, I ain't tripping. What's behind this flower plant? What's behind? I definitely see something big and red with a white and black label. It's blurred. You know, this is a 90s sitcom camera. But that fire extinguisher is still there. Y'all tell me if y'all see it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I still see a red fire extinguisher. Don't play with me.
The funny thing is that the next time we see the counter, the fire extinguisher is gone.
Maybe because it's... I don't know. I feel like I still see it. And maybe it's supposed to be right there and it was slid, but I still see it.
Just at the time when he needs it the most.
Nah, I still see it.
Video on the screen for more great content. Right here.
Y'all, that was... Yeah. I don't know. I saw it. I don't know how I feel about number 10. It should be 9 because number 10 it was still there. But y'all, that concludes this video. If you have not already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms. That is She.Chanel. And until we meet again, we are